the majestic world of horses, grace, strength, and beauty. The imposing nature of horses is evident even from a distance. Powerful animals that represent freedom, strength, and above all, power. But did you know that this majestic animal was a key element in the evolution of civilization? Today we will discover a little of the history of this majestic animal that has managed to become a favorite of many. Before we begin, subscribe to the Animal Watchers channel and turn on notifications. Origin of horses. The domestic horse is the last link in a long evolutionary chain. It also forms a small isolated group, including other monodactyls, that now appear to be closely related in the animal kingdom. In the order of perissodactyls, horses are related to tapirs and rhinoceroses. However, this implies a relationship at the level of ancestors who lived long ago. Horses have evolved over 50 million years, starting as small animals the size of a medium-sized dog and evolving into the fast runners of the steppes that we know today. At the culmination of this process, humans domesticated the horse through captivity and artificial selection, resulting in different shapes, colors, and distinguishing marks, including the white coat. The horse is believed to have originated in North America and migrated to South America and Asia across the isthmus that connected the Americas to Asia. From there, it reached Europe and then Africa. In the Stone Age, when hunting tribes arrived in the Americas in the opposite direction, the horse was fiercely hunted to extinction. In the early 16th century, the Spanish conquistadors reintroduced the horse to the Americas. Since the domestication of the horse, man has used its strength and speed to change its way of life. Instead of settling down in one place, they could move quickly to distant places, carrying everything they needed with them. Horses became such a valuable commodity that they gave great power to their owners. Tribes of warlike Arabs conquered the Middle East and North Africa and invaded Spain. Later, in the 13th century, the Mongols set out from Central Asia and, thanks to the horse, forged a great empire. Historical and legendary horses gained eternal fame. Pegasus, the winged horse of Greek mythology, sprang from the body of the monstrous Medusa when Perseus decapitated her. Later, his relationship with the 9 gods known as the Muses resulted in a sacred well on Mount Helicon, which sprang from a kick from Pegasus. The gigantic hollow horse built by the Greeks made it possible to take the city of Troy. The Trojans brought it into the city, unaware that Hellenic soldiers were hiding inside. Once inside the city, the Greeks easily defeated its inhabitants. Alexander the Great had a magnificent warhorse called Bucephalus, which he alone was supposed to maintain. When he died in 326 BC, the king built the city of Bucephalus in his memory. Eclipse was an English thoroughbred born in 1764. He is considered the most important racehorse that ever lived, winning the 18 races in which he competed. Today's best horses are descended from him. Marengo was the white stallion ridden by Napoleon on the day of his defeat at Waterloo in 1815. The great conqueror named him after a village in northern Italy where he defeated the Austrian army in one of his greatest victories in 1800. Comanche, a member of the U.S. Cavalry, earned his place in history when General George Custer and his soldiers died fighting the Sioux in 1876. Comanche was the only survivor of the battle. But none of this would have had a place in man's history had it not been for the first horse trainer of antiquity. First horse trainer. And in this respect, the Hittites managed to give the Egyptians a nasty surprise, thanks to the fact that they had the services of, until proven otherwise, the first expert in horse training and breeding in antiquity. His name was Kekuli, and he was of Hurrian-Mitannian origin. Mitanni was located in the upper reaches of the Habur River, a tributary of the Euphrates, in what is now northern Syria. From time immemorial, nomads from Kazakhstan and Armenia passed through the area. One of the oldest examples is found in the Akkadian story of Sargon and the Seven Kings, in which the founder of the Akkadian Empire, like a superhero, organizes a military expedition to the Hurrian north to put an end to nomad attacks on trade caravans. Many of these nomads were accompanied by horses, so it is not surprising that northern kingdoms such as Mitanni ended up using these animals. It was in this area that Kekuli was born. His fame must have been such that he was called to the Hittite capital of Hattusa to work in the royal household. Kekuli developed a breeding and training system that produced the best war horses of his time. And the most extraordinary thing is that he wrote a book explaining his method. Interestingly, 3 copies of his treatise have survived to the present day, and the best preserved one is particularly interesting because it contains Indo-Aryan terms and the author is obliged to explain their meaning. Kekuli's method can be divided into 2 phases. The first was a preliminary selection of animals, which lasted 4 days. Kekuli method. During the task, it was observed that the animal had no previous training, that the terrain was uneven, that the temperature was not uncomfortable for the rosin, that it was equipped with accessories, that it would carry in the future, that it pulled a cart or was mounted, and that it did the test at its own pace, at its own speed, without being forced to change it. They were eliminated if they became too tired or showed lameness, and even their heart rates were monitored for half an hour after the test. The selected horses had 16 days of rest before they began training. The second phase was training, which lasted 7 months, during which the horse was gradually accustomed to the movement and weight of a full war chariot with its servants. This varied depending on whether the horse was a newcomer or recovering from an injury. The book is very thorough, specifying 3 daily training sessions and the duration of trot, walk, and canter for each. After 7 months of training, they were given 3 months off and then returned to square one. It was also specified that they should not carry weights until they are 5 to 7 years old, depending on their size and development. The most interesting part of the book is its insistence that animals should be treated with affection and respect, warning that they are beings who have devoted their lives to our service. He also insists that a happy horse, allowed to train at its own pace and capacity, is a horse that will perform better. In addition, a balanced diet was considered fundamental, consisting of hay on rest days and barley and oats on training days. When training was hard, the grains were to be served sprouted, dried, and with a little salt. In short, the domestication of the horse shows not only the greatness of man as the top of the food chain, but also the horse as the perfect tool for the evolution of civilization. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. See you next time!